It's no mystery that I'm a huge fan of West Edmonton Mall. It's been a big part of my life, but I can't go there right now. So I figured I'd take this time to dust off an old video I originally made for a different channel. A few years ago, an ex-coworker and I started a series that was supposed to be about gaming and movies and technology, but we didn't get too far. Though, I will say that on that channel, I did a review of Stephen King's The Stand miniseries, about an apocalyptic superflu that wiped out nearly the entire population of the Earth. Don't worry though, that's just a story. We also did this goofy little review of the 1993 video game, The Seventh Guest. My co-star in this production is Instagram cosplay sensation Ryan Rybot. You might actually remember him as the other guy in those animated shorts I've done, and in my look back at the Christmas in Wonderland and Paper Marriage movies.
Did it break?
And since we're stuck inside with nothing better to do, because I know you're going to forgive me for the poor production value, the corny jokes, and the really bad audio quality, I present to you The Seventh Guest.
The madman's playroom.
You know I resent that.
Tell me, madman, can you give me real magic? Can you show me?
You about done here?
I am the sixth guest. You will play the seventh guest.
No, man, I played that years ago. I am not playing it again.
Oh, you will, for I see what you do at night.
The Seventh Guest was a horror game released in 1993. I tell you, as a 10-year-old, this game scared the crap out of me. It's pretty tame by today's standards, but back in the day, it was a masterpiece of PC gaming.
It was among the first batch of computer games to be released solely on CD-ROM. Now I'm going to put on my grandpa hat and say that way back when, we simply didn't have the convenience that we do today. We didn't just click a link and get a new game on our devices. We made the long trek to the computer store and hoped there was something new on the shelves. You'd pick this game up, bring it home, and realize you needed a CD-ROM to use it in your computer. By that time, they were pretty common, but some PCs still didn't have one yet. It was games like these that really helped push CD-ROM drives into widespread popularity. When released, the game was a near-perfect mix of visuals and music. It created the ideal ambiance for creeping out the bleeding-edge 1990s gamer. Though the 3D and textures are a little dated, I'll never tire of the music in this one.
Let's pop this thing in and we'll get guesting.
Ah, video introduction. This'll get things rolling. Turns out that old man Stauf is a drifter.
He had nothing. No life, no possessions, no dreams. And in his dream, Stauf reached out.
You just said he had no dreams.
Stauf went to town, to a bar.
Where did he get that suit?
He said his girl would love the strange doll. And the owner, in turn, offered Stauf food and a place to stay.
He offered him food and a place to stay. Look at how he's dressed. He's wearing a nice suit. I think we gotta move ahead.
So Stauf becomes a wealthy toy maker and builds a large, scary mansion teetering on some cliffs. I gotta say, that's probably not the best foundation on which to build a house. I mean, who signed off on this build?
I think the real bad guy here is the Department of Building Permits.
You are introduced to the characters in a montage of them arriving at the house one by one, each portraying their own cheesy, overacted character.
What? Yeah.
My favorite is the stuck-up guy with the cane.
Lord, it smells awful too. What's Stauf been doing here?
And all these characters are talking about what a dump this place is.
Wait. That's the place you're bad-mouthing? The grand staircase, the marble floors, the 20-foot ceilings, and lavender? My God, it smells awful too.
The character you play as isn't seen, but you do hear him make commentary throughout the game. Your character simply says,
"How did I get here? I remember nothing."
Like, why am I wearing parachute pants?
The gameplay is pretty straightforward. You go from room to room solving different puzzles. They range in difficulty. Some are pretty easy, and you can just stumble your way through them. Others are slightly more difficult. Like this one with the cans. You're supposed to rearrange these to form a sentence, but unless your vocabulary is inhuman, you'd almost never be able to figure this out. Shy gypsy slyly shyly tryst by my crypt.
Yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense to the average PC gamer in 1993. So every time you complete a puzzle, you encounter a cutscene which moves the plot forward.
Oh, it says that we're each to have a piece. Exactly the same, including the symbols. What? That's impossible!
That's impossible. Share dessert with everyone else? Everyone gets their fair share? Pish posh! Lavender...
I love how the characters will transform at random times. So as you complete puzzles throughout the game, other rooms become unlocked. Wait, back up there. Are we just going to ignore the fact that in this otherwise normal dining room there are human skulls on the shelves?
Oh, and not just one. 4. 4 human beings lost their lives, so this room could have great feng shui.
One of the creepiest parts for me of this game was when you got to the underground maze. Oh, and here's a pro tip. You can see the same maze on a rug in one of the other rooms.
Look at the size of that maze. That's pretty huge. Considering a person is supposed to walk through that? I mean, it's connected to the kitchen, so it's on the main floor. You know what? Let's do some quick math.
Looking at the walls of the labyrinth, these archways seem pretty wide. I'd wager to say that they're probably 4 feet. Considering all the halls are the same width, all we have to do is count the hallways and find that the size of this maze is
108 feet by 60 feet.
That's about half the size of an NHL hockey rink. So look at this house. Where on the main floor are you going to fit that maze? I think the only logical solution is that it's positioned vertically, which means the reason we don't see the main character is you're a Spider-Man. So I bet you're wondering why this game is called The Seventh Guest. Well, interestingly enough, it's because you're trying to unfold the mystery behind who is the seventh guest, and what Old Man Stauf wants with him. You find out during gameplay that each guest is given hints as to why they're here, and what they need from the seventh guest. And they're each promised that their wish can come true if they can complete their task.
And you know what that is, Mr. Dutton, don't you? I require one thing of you, a special service, a task that I've set up for you.
Do you need a drink of water or something?
So you just keep going from room to room solving puzzles. Some of these are pretty easy, they're at least objectively solvable, but some are pretty hard. I mean, this one isn't even a puzzle, it's just Othello, and it's brutally difficult. If you're not an expert Othello player, you'll never beat the computer. To me, this was one of the most difficult puzzles in the game. It's so damn unforgiving.
Luckily for us, the developers made it so you didn't actually have to solve any puzzles in this game.
If you have trouble with any of the puzzles, you just head to the library. Look in this book and get a clue. If you're still having trouble, head back and you'll get another clue. But if you still can't beat it, go back to the library a third time, and the game just solves the puzzle for you. I'm going to go ahead and play this game the same way I did when I was 10 years old. So it turns out at the end of the game that Stauf is after the seventh guest. The other guests have been tasked with bringing the young boy to Stauf in order to get their wish granted, and apparently have chosen to use their superb acting skills to get the job done.
We know what to do with him. Wait! Quick, the knife!
Interesting method of attack there, the old throw my exposed chest to the knife routine.
Seriously, this game is riddled with the best kind of acting. Overly pronounced theatrical movements, dialogue with less depth than a Jessica Simpson song. But I think my favorite by far are the effects. You know the ones, they try so hard to be frightening but they're just comical. Like this one. They just cut off an actress's head and put it on a sewing mannequin. And the dialogue, oh, the dialogue.
Yeah, I looked over here and something happened.
So at the end of the game, in an unpredictable twist, you find out that you, in fact, are the 7th guest. That's right, you're the young boy in the mansion, living your death over and over for all of eternity. Yeah, that's just a tongue in the butt.
Apparently this last time, though, because you solved some puzzles or something, your ending is different. Old Man Stauf sinks into some pumpkin goulash, or something, and you save the day, just before stroking out and heading towards the light.
So, Madman, I see you've played the game.
Yes, I played your game, but I have a game for you. The book game!
Oh, no! I'm disappearing! It's over. It's over. This book. I remember this book.
No! Looks like I'm gonna have to play Myst. Obviously the plan after this was to make a review of Myst in the same approach, but the channel kind of faded away before we ever did that. Look, I am always going to return to my favorite topic, to either make videos of or just talk about West Edmonton Mall. But sometimes, even when we're not under isolation, it can be tough to find enough to talk about. So I'm kind of hoping that this BEM Guy series might be a way to fill the gap with other stuff. I've really enjoyed looking back at the movies filmed at West Edmonton Mall, and I would love to continue with those types of commentary videos. That is, if you can all put up with that type of content on this channel. Did you ever play The Seventh Guest? Was it as scary for you as it was for me when I was a kid? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel, give us a like and a share, and maybe even visit our Patreon page. And why not check out one of our other videos? Mostly about the greatest indoor show on earth, West Edmonton Mall. Oh, and thanks for watching.